Hello everyone and welcome back to Untamed Chaos. Since the last episode, I did go ahead and upgraded all these machines with the upgrades. Like if you look in here, this now has 8 speed and 8 energy upgrades, so they all perform a lot faster but still drain a bit more power. And to help with that, I did add a couple more energy cubes. If you remember, I did have 2 ultimate energy cubes in my chest just lying around and decided to put them up there. You can't really see it, but there's now one above them. So instead of having 1 for each of the solar generators, it's now 2 ultimate energy cubes. So I kind of doubled my power capacity from 10 million RF or 100 million RF to 200 million RF. So yeah. And as you notice, the machines aren't here anymore. I decided just to make another room over here, just to put the ME stuff and have another room for tech, because there just wasn't a lot of wall space here to run cables. Like this stuff was here, and you know, I didn't know where else to put it. So I decided I have another room over here just so I can have more machines. Like I could run another cable to this wall if I wanted to do something like maybe thermal expansion, for example. So I don't know. It still has. Oh my god, a blood moon. I think that's the first time that has ever occurred while I was recording. Well, that's not good. I'll get to that in a second, but yeah, I just wanted to have, this stuff here just when I need to work with ME stuff or test stuff out. I don't really plan to have an ME system established in this base and use the sorting room over there, but this is just another room to have powered stuff and tech and work on it. And it's already getting pretty dark, but, yeah, what a blood moon is, I can't sleep. Yeah. On the blood moon, I can't sleep, and mobs spawn like crazy. I might actually want to get a door there just to be safe, because mobs spawn like crazy. So, I think I'm gonna actually put that back right now while I finish, my little recap here. Wow, I did a horrible job at that. I'll leave it like that, though. So, yeah, in addition to the ME stuff, if you come over here, ooh, this is probably going to be dangerous, too, because mobs can jump down. Hopefully there isn't stuff happening, but, I did, prepare more stuff for the rituals and looked into it. Pretty much how this works is, if I shift-click and right-click, I choose which ritual I want, for example, and then when I right-click, the Master Ritual Stone, it will just place the blocks and, add the chalk or the inscriptions as needed. So pretty much it's just an easier way to assemble rituals. Apparently none of the inscription stuff actually uses durability. So yeah, but it should make it a lot easier to set it up, and the blood moon's way underway. So Okay, so before I head outside and see if I can face the blood moon, there's a couple more things to mention that I did off camera. One, the seeds finally grew. Although it's been so long that they've been growing in that pond that I forgot what they were meant for, but pretty much what I did, I noticed they were getting really close, like 90%, so I just stood next to the pond in like a little dirt room with the auto feeder and just AFK'd there while I did some other stuff. So when they grew, my ring of magnetization picked them up so they didn't accidentally despawn. If I like was doing stuff and not around, they grew and then despawn. That would have really sucked, because these don't say they don't despawn like the seeds. So I don't know, I could look into a better system in the future of maybe collecting them, but I really want to look into the chargers for them because they just take forever without the growth accelerators. And also my sword leveled up. I was actually trying to save it for on camera, but it hit the master rank because when I was doing stuff off camera, I had to kill something when I got it just enough experience to level up in like a few hits, and I accidentally leveled it off camera. So that kind of sucks, but it got Smite now, which isn't the worst enchantment, isn't the best. The random enchantments is kind of hard to say what a really good sword would be. Like, if I did get really lucky and got, like, Smite 3 times over, it could make a really good sword for fighting, like, withers and such. Or, like, Bane of Arthropods. Why do I always think there's an N? But if I got, like, Bane of Arthropods for all 3 of the random modifiers there, that would make very good for, like, the Erebus. But Sharpness is not possible for the random modifiers. I disabled it. But there is supposedly one that, for critical damage, that is only through random modifiers. So that would have been nice. And, oh my god, I have no idea how this is going to look on YouTube, because I know after editing, the brightness does get messed up a lot, especially after YouTube compression. Is that a bat on the surface? Eh. But, this is a blood moon. There's not much happening here because, I have this place very well lit, but it just looks really spooky, and, the moon's right in the sky, and pretty much what a blood moon does, I can't sleep, mobs spawn, 3 times as much, I believe, and, 3 and closer to me. It's just a lot more mobs, and I prepared this area for rituals because I need to set up 2 rituals if I can, and yeah, as you can see, there's a bunch of mobs over there. I really don't want to just fight a bunch. And yeah, but as you can see, ooh, a Spriggan spawned in there. I need to get my axe out. Yeah, oh, the other thing I did, I charged my wand up here to the max, and if you look here at my node tracker, I found a bunch more nodes. I just went around and I went back and got the ones we had or found in the other episode that I forgot to scan, and while I was doing that, I found a bunch more. So, yeah, pretty much I just found some more nodes and this other stuff I mentioned. So that's pretty much all I did off camera. And there is one other thing I want to mention, which is stuff with the new base I've been working on. I want to go over some of those concepts and the designs and some of the problems I've been facing trying to plan it out. But I don't want to go there during the blood moon because that area is not lit up. So that would be very bad. I don't want to really do anything, but at the same time, oh my god. As you see, there's just stuff everywhere. Enderman and whatnot. So, yeah, oh. Apparently I looked at it. Actually, this might be a good time to farm ender pearls. So if I can look at the enderman, get them angry. Huh. I probably should have thought this through better, because I don't have really good armor. Okay, we got one ender pearl, so I guess that's a good thing of the blood moon so far. I could find some endermen, but yeah, I'm really not sure what I want to do about the blood moon, because like I said, I'm not really equipped at the moment to go like on a slaughter and kill a whole bunch of mobs, and this area is not even lit. Okay, 2 ender pearls, that's pretty good. So, I don't know, if I can find more endermen, I might lure them over and kill them. I think that's one. Oh my god, there's a lot of endermen. I should have built an enderman area. I might actually die. If I can find a low tree, that would be great. But, yeah. That's a lot of endermen, and a zombie even found its way over. Ooh. So, Okay, so, that blood moon was actually rather uneventful. The blood moon's now setting, the sun's rising up, and, these mobs should slowly despawn. I fought the endermen on top of the solar generators, because they couldn't get up there easily. Or the solar panels, I should call them. And, just make sure nothing got in here, actually. I don't think so. Nothing seems to spawn on the island, and I also broke my axe collecting the trapdoors here. So, at least we got a couple ender pearls out of it. I don't know, it's just blood moons are meant to be challenging, but I lit up the area so well that nothing came over to challenge me. So I guess that's kind of a good thing. But, yeah, so let me just sort this away real quick. And, I want to make a new axe. I really actually should make a tinkerer's axe, but I just like using the gems because that's kind of why they're here, to be a nice alternative to diamond tools. Because, I don't know, they're just kind of cool. And, I always feel like I'm going to have something in these crafting tables I forgot about, so, because it happened a few times now, and, oh, I already had a ruby shovel, but it doesn't really matter if I have duplicates of the same tool. So, yeah, now I want to head to the base over here and show you some of the stuff I've been working on. Okay, before I go over this, I would like to just apologize if you hear any background noise, mainly because there's a lot of critters outside, birds and whatnot making some noise now, and, well, there's nothing I can do. It's been weird weather here recently, rain, heat, cold sort of thing, so, yeah, there's birds out there and whatnot, so if you can hear them in the recording, I'm sorry about that. If you can't, pretend I didn't say anything. But this is what I've been working on. I've mainly just been trying to plan out how I want to go about this base, and it's actually a lot harder than I thought, because I talked about having a tower because that's the only way I'm going to get a base tall enough to put those windmills, wind turbines, way up top. But the problem is, a tower needs to be pretty big to hold all the stuff I want to hold, like Thaumcraft stuff and, you know, all the tech mods and all that kind of stuff. So this is what I've been working on for the size, and the reason I have the center here is because this is the chunk center. And I considered moving it to this chunk instead, but then the tower isn't going to be in the mountain and overlapping this, because I'm kind of trying to work within a 3x3 radius, because, well, pretty much back at my other base, I noticed the chunk lines in the chisel blocks were getting really annoying. Like, remember I comment before with the granite, you could see where there's like a thicker line at the chunk border, and if I turn on chunks, you can see the red lines are the chunk corners, and the green little boxes show what chunk I'm currently in. So using this feature to see the chunks, I decided this was the best chunk for the tower's center to be in. Now the problem is I couldn't make this a 1x1 center because chunks are 16x16 blocks, meaning a 2x2 would be the center. And pretty much 16 by 16 isn't a very big tower, and either way I'll need to go into the nearby chunks, but I want to try and keep it within a 3 by 3, so only going here, and this would be the end. I probably would do bigger than I currently did, because if we look at the size down here, I listed more of the measurements, but currently it is, this is the chunk center. I considered moving it southward, but then it would overhang outside the mountain. The center is 2 by 2, and it goes 14 blocks out, or 14 blocks long, and 7 out from this chunk. So the first 7 are within the first chunk. And the total length of this would be 30 by 30 with the walls, which would make a 28 by 28 interior. Now, some of my problems with this, though, is because I realized I'll need thicker walls, because I want the outside and inside to have different wall colors, so I could have like one themed room. Like the tower has a consistent look on the outside, but inside each layer of it would have different themed rooms. Like it could make, like inside the tech room could be red, inside the Thumbcraft room could be purple, but the outside of the tower could be black, for example. And I also do need room to run stuff through the walls like power cables. So pretty much I want to at least be 30 by 30 interior probably, so it might actually be closer to 35 by 35 or 34 by 34, meaning coming out another 2 blocks on all side. So yeah, but that's currently what I'm thinking for the whole tower thing. But yeah, I really don't have any solid plans. I just know I would like a tower so I could have the power supplies at the top. I would also like to do an outdoor area, but I'm not sure if I want to do it like maybe down there or maybe down here in the plains. And I'm still not sure what to do with that room down here, because based on the dimensions of the tower could like end up going down to the mountain and ending like right around here maybe, so then I could do like a little room here. But I'm just not sure what I put in each of these rooms if I make, or when I make a new blood altar, because I probably would want to make the biggest blood altar under the base somewhere. Well, it would have to be under the base because the tower itself is probably not big enough to hold a blood altar. And there's just a lot of little things like that, so pretty much just getting the scale of the tower, fitting it in the existing chunks around the mountain, because I want to focus on the high areas of the mountain, so that chunk seems like the best choice. But I also don't want it to be like, if I moved it up here, it would end up going out into this chunk, which means the majority of the tower would be just directly down to the ground, and then that would cut into this area oddly. So it's just kind of hard working with the space I'm given. And I don't want to like completely remodel the entire mountain to compensate for it. But if you look here at the moment, this is actually just a 1 by 1 chunk. But if I just up it 1, it becomes 9 chunks, or 3 by 3. If I show the laser, you'll see what I mean. So it's all, a 3 by 3 centered in this chunk, which is what I'd want to do with a chunk loader here. I don't know, I might still have to do more than just the 3 by 3, because the next one up would be a 5 by 5, which is a pretty big area. But it's just, I would like my base to be chunk loaded, and I'd like to focus it around the 3 by 3 tower. So hopefully that would work out. I'm not sure. It's just a very tricky sizing thing. And another thing, I don't have elevators, so I'm not sure how I'd get up and down the tower. Like, would I just expect myself to fly? Would I build a staircase? I know that was a problem in Ascension when I getting between the multiple floors of my base, but yeah. But anyway, I think I rambled enough about that, but that's just some things I've been thinking about regarding the base I've been working on. So if you have any feedback on how you'd like to see me build that, let me know. But it's gonna take a long time before I actually have it like finished. I actually forget what episode this is at the time of recording, but yeah, it's still gonna take a while for me. But that's like the chunk line I mean, because if I turn this back on again, here's the chunk line, and it just doesn't look right at the corners of the chunks here for chisel blocks like that. So that's why I'm kind of wanting to build my base centered around the chunk this time. So if there is inconsistency, it still forms to the pattern. Like the edges of the chunk would be around the center of the base and not just like in the middle like this one is. So yeah, anyway, I think I rambled enough about my base designs and stuff I did last episode. Now it's time to start rituals. Okay, so there's one thing for the ritual I did not prepare off camera, which is the activation crystal. Now, for both the rituals I want to do, I only need the low level one, which needs a lava crystal, and I just happen to have 2 of them lying around for making the sigils. And yeah, I did say it right now, sigils. It was kind of ironic because in the other episode, I know I said I was going to say sigil, and then went back to sigil later on. But when I was looking up stuff off cam, whoops, my bad. I forgot I'd left that like that. Put a ritual stone there. And now I have to fix this, right click, and it should sync back to tier 3. There we go. So put that in there and just do this once and it should get enough blood. But this takes 10,000 life points, and it will turn into a weak activation crystal I'll need for the ritual. So I need to do this twice, and then I'll have enough. Then we can go set up the ritual blocks, and yeah, it should be fairly simple. One ritual I want to do is unbinding this, which could be hazardous, because the stuff should fly out of it from what I hear. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of blood as well, or at least a lot more than I really wish it did, and I just need to fill this back up. So it's going to take a second for me to make the other one. I'll just do that between cuts sort of thing. But yeah, so there's two things I want to do: a binding ritual for a new item, and an unbinding ritual to get the sigils out of this, or sigils. Darn, I already messed that up. But you have the sigils out of this so I can put them in how I want, or not out of that. That's the sigil site. Sigil. Darn, I keep messing it up even though I know the proper way to say it. But I just don't like how they're in the sigil of holding, because when I had the divination sigil on me, oh god, I'm just never going to get that right, am I? But when I have the divination sigil on me in this, it does not show the tooltip, and I just would prefer to have them separate. So, yeah. But anyway, let me just make the other weak activation crystal, and, yeah. Okay, so I need to make one more thing for the ritual, which is just a basic diamond sword. I don't think I actually made one so far. If I have one in this chest, I'll kind of be annoyed. Nope, I do not. So pretty much the first ritual I want to try is a binding ritual, and I did test this off camera just to see how it works, and it isn't too hard. It doesn't also use that much life points. So I have this here. I'll have to refill this off camera because I don't think I'll be using this at the moment. But now I have the two activation crystals, and I actually can put the dagger back because I won't need that. And I actually won't need that either, but I will want to get out my sigil. I'm never going to say that right. I'm just going to say that now. But I have a max life points or what I can hold anyway, so I put this down. One's supposed to go here, and the other's supposed to go here. They're 9 by 9-ish. From what I could count anyway, so, yeah. And, just F7. Oh, that's not F7. F7, there is some darkness, but I'll resolve that afterwards. And, yeah, so, let's make sure this is set for the right one. Ritual binding. So that's what I want to do. And here's the thing. See my life points? When I right-click, it will have that little particle and start placing the blocks. But it costs me life points every time I do it. So if I manually place it, it would be easier, but it just takes the... I probably should put that here, actually. Every time I click, it will take a ritual stone from my inventory and place them down and apply the right inscriptions if needed. I keep wanting to call it chalk or something like that because I know other rituals use that. And when I'm done, it should... Okay, now it just won't do anything anymore. So this is the ritual of binding, or how this is set up. Now, if I right-click, ritual of unbinding is now selected. So if I come over here and do it, it will build a similar thing, but a bit different, and use more of my ritual blocks. And I hopefully, yeah, that should be it, actually. So, as you see, or as you can't see yet, but as you see here, that used a fair amount of life points. Now, the ritual, I think that is actually too close, because that is, yeah, I need to move it over one darn. That's kind of embarrassing. Okay, so these just turn back into runes when I break them. That's good to know. So, I need to put it here because, the pillars were... Actually, let's just do it there. I think that's enough space, but, yeah, the pillars were too close, and it was just trying to merge that one. And if there's something obstructing it, it just stops, trying to place the new blocks. So, yeah. That was unfortunate. So, let me just, replace this down real quick. I'll use life points again, but it should just make the ritual of binding now, and I'll fix any landscape it messes up. Yeah. Okay, so I did mess up slightly here in that this didn't have anything else built, so it probably was fine how it was, and I did go one more block than needed, but still it's set up, and it isn't like overhanging the cliff like I thought it might, although that does look a bit weird. But we do have the ritual of unbinding ready, but first I want to try this ritual. So from what I understand, I need to right-click this. I'm not sure why, but, oh, right, I have to bind it. That's the thing I messed up with. It doesn't say current owner. If you right-click, it says, you can't. But now if I right-click, it does... Oh, it doesn't consume it. I guess I didn't need to then. But this is going to be the ritual binding for a bound sword. And if I throw it there, I have to get rid of the fire there. And I am flying out of here before the lightning kills me, because in Test Worlds, that actually did happen when I didn't have, like, good armor. So it's going to strike all around there, and ta-da! A bound blade. So that's how the ritual binding works. And if I check here now, that should have used 5,000 life points from my soul network. So, yeah, lots of lightning. But this is the Bound Blade, and I'll show you what that does in a minute. But first, I want to, this might suck. I guess that's active. I'm not sure. I haven't actually tried this one with... Oh, God. That was a lot quicker than I expected. I was expecting it to be like that one, a more slow process, but nope, just throw it and all the stuff came out. So I unbound that, but unfortunately, we look at the divination sigil now, not the sigil of holding. That used a lot more life points, 25k, I believe. So, yeah, it drained a fair amount, but now I have the stuff unbound, and yeah. Okay, so I sorted the sigils back, and I still have the weak activation crystal because I didn't pay attention. No, it wasn't destroyed. And I have a spare one, but that's not bad because it will be needed for the awakened. So when I do finally make that later on, that's the creative one. But the awakened one, it needs a lot of this stuff, which I probably can make a decent bit of this now, like through the whole alchemic brewing. So I might work at that eventually, but I know this is a demon blood shard, which I can't get yet because that's from fighting elementals. I also can substitute for another star apparently. But, that's another thing I can't do yet that I do want to try and do soon, actually. But if I right-click this, this turns into the Bound Blade, and it doesn't use life points when it's out. Oh, it does. I thought it didn't use life points from what I saw. So apparently just having it open does consume a bit of life, which is why I can shrink it up. But it also will use some life points when I kill stuff. So I think the best thing to do or test this with is going into the mine and see if we can find slimes. Because the Bound Blade, there should be slimes here. Yeah, oh, I never showed you the mines. Yeah, I told you, or I mentioned in the other episode that I did cut out the middle area. Yeah, this is what the mines look like now. I still have to mine the ores down here, but I think I did it all the way down there now. So if I open the Bound Blade and start killing some slimes, I think they count as hostile because they are trying to kill me. And there's a chance when I kill them, apparently this also applies potion effects. I don't know much about the Bound Blade, but I'm not sure if slimes actually will give the drop. But if you look, that used a decent bit of life points, not too much, but yeah, yeah, so, sorry I keep saying stuff like but, well, I guess that's just kind of how I commentate. I don't know. But if we come over here, I'm hoping I can get the drop just so I can show you. I pretty much will have to do this off camera and try and farm the drop, even if I get one now. But using the Bound Blade, I can get a special drop. I'm just not sure if I can get it from slimes, because they might not count as hostile in the same way. Or at least for the drop, I think it's only hostile mobs. So, yeah. I guess I can shrink this back down so I don't waste blood. I already used a fair bit. But I can just replenish that off camera pretty easily. Just, you know, the whole AFK and just click with the orb in the blood altar. So, yeah. But this is mines now. It's a very open and lit cavern. And that's just the stairs, which is why it looks a bit brighter. But this area is about the same. I got rid of the door there because I never really used it. And same for the whole up area of this mine. It just never really was used. So, yeah. But if I could find, like a chupacabra or something like that, I might be able to get the item I want. So let me just see if I can find one real quick. Actually, I just remembered something. If you look on the map here, there is a waypoint for a spooky cave. Because up here, there was a tunnel. This used to be a wall right above it. But then I mined more of that wall out. But, yeah, this is a very spooky cave area. And, oh my god, a witch is there. Well, I guess we're going to go in and kill it and see if that drops it. We got it! A weak blood shard. So, yeah, but this is a very spooky cave. And, oh god, another witch. Ow. So, oh, another blood shard, too. Huh. So, this is the cave, and I was kind of saving to do it on an episode if I could. Oh god. Ah. Wow, we're just getting... Oh my god. So many things are attacking me. But yeah, I call this Spooky Cave just because there's so much stuff going on. And I actually want to F7 this and see if I can light this up a bit. Oh god, a potion trap. And a chupacabra. And a witch. Oh, maybe it was a witch and not a potion trap. And that's a spawner. That's a spawner. Is that a witch spawner? Oh, that's a zombie. I'm actually just gonna break this because... Okay, so I want to try killing them with this still, if I can. Oh my god, this is just a very dark and dangerous area, which is why I was trying to save it for on camera, just because it seemed interesting enough. And I'll have to come back off camera now that I showed it and see if I can clear it. But yeah, there's just so much going on here. And lots of ores and lots of stuff, and I actually want to turn off dynamic light so I can try and light up this cave, so when I come back down I can hopefully just try and like clear the ores out and not be killed by a bunch of stuff. But every time I came in this cave there was like a skeleton or something trying to kill me, and I was like, let's just save this for on camera. So it was a good place to come and get these blood shards. And let's see what's in here. Okay, we got some mana steel, ender pearls, and some of that stuff, so that's pretty nice. I'm not sure if I ever mentioned it, but most of the Deadly World chests are based off of just the basic dungeon chest, because I didn't have time to make them all completely unique. And oh god, that's an arrow spawner. And there's a chupacabra, and oh my god, I realized I haven't bound the blade again. But yeah, so I don't want to go too far into this just because it's a very big cave, and oh my god. At least we're getting a lot of blood shards. There is a way to duplicate them, I believe. A recipe. If you have one, you can make more, sort of thing. And yeah, every time I come down this cave, skeletons from all over. So I wonder if we can find a spawner. I really just don't want to die. Yeah, I'm not seeing a spawner, but there has to be something around here spawning all these skeletons, because... Oh god, blue slime. And... darn witches. So, I'm actually a bit lost at this point too, but I don't know. I did come out of this cave earlier. This was the ravine section that I found in a couple places. I think down here there was another sealed off area for this, but yeah, this is the cave that I think I might have mentioned before, and I just wish I knew where these skeletons are coming from. Oh, darn. I just don't want to die, and there's enough stuff here trying to hurt me, so I think I'm just going to head back now. I got the shards I needed, and let me just retract that. So, yeah, but that's a spooky cave. Okay, so that little skirmish used a bit more life points than I was expecting, but we did get a lot more blood shards than I was expecting as well. These are very important for blood magic, or at least continuing blood magic, and if you look here, I can use imbued slates to make more and turn 1 into 5, so I do have some of those spare, and I could always use this to help clone them, but I always will want to keep like one of these spare. But the reason I need these is because a few things. One, that's how I get the Master Orb, which I think holds like 1 million. I forget how high it gets, but I know the cap increases a lot as the ores progress, and the tricky part is going to be getting 40k life in the altar that quickly, because yeah, it's a pain to fill it up quickly. I think I did find a trick to help with that, but I forget what it is now. But yeah, so if you do want to make the next tier of orb, we will need that, but we also only have a tier 3 altar, so I do need to work on making a tier 4, I believe. But now that we have the bound sword and all that stuff, I think I can. I forget what the shape was, but I think it might have needed bloodstone bricks, and I can make that with this. So it also makes a lot of other things in blood magic that I do not even know what they are. It's used for some of this stuff, and it's not really a super valuable resource, I suppose, but it's used in a lot of things that yeah, I can't even begin to yeah. But it also makes empty sockets, which are very important because they make filled sockets and other things like that. And I'm trying to see if I can find it. Soul Armor Forge. And that's what I need to make if I want to make the blood magic bound armor. I think it actually is renamed. Let me just search bound armor. Okay, so it does seem that it's still called bound armor, but I can't see the recipe here. I thought it was actually just binding it the same way we bound the sword, but it might require like the Soul Armor Forge or even some new stuff, because I do remember... Ooh, that might be a problem. Ooh, and there's also a torch missing over here. How'd that happen? But, yeah, I'll need to light this area up just so mobs don't spawn all over. But, Yeah, for the moment, I'll just do that. Anyway, like I was saying about the bound armor, though, it is a very powerful set from Blood Magic. I know the recent updates have been adding new armor stuff, too. I'm not sure if that's just, like, higher tier upgrades of the bound armor, or if they're replacing the blood armor with the new versions, because I did see stuff like earth armor, water, or, like, bound water armor, bound earth armor, or some stuff like that. So apparently there's variations or something. But I will look more into that. But from what I understand, you need to make a soul forge and sockets and... like, yeah, let me just grab some blocks to show you what I mean. So from what I remember reading about it, if I had like a soul forge here and I want to make boots, I would need sockets here and the soul forge in the center. And then I put stuff in the sockets, and I guess it used to just like put diamond boots in the soul forge. I'm not sure, because I thought it was just diamond boots in the binding ritual. But when I do that, then I'll get bound boots, and depending on what stuff I put in, I think a weak blood shard allows for like 1 socket, while a demon blood shard allows for 2 or something like that. But yeah, but I can use it to add stuff like the sigils and blood orbs and stuff like that to my armor. Depending on the tier of blood orb I add, it will use life points or not, I believe. Like, if I put a master in, I don't think it costs me any blood, even for my soul network, but I might be wrong. But, yeah, anyway, I think I just kind of rambled about that long enough. But, yeah, bound armor, it's something really cool, and I want to work towards it, but I still need to get a lot more, blood shards, so I'll be working on that off camera. And there is something else I would like to try this episode, so let me just sort this stuff away real quick, and hopefully we have time for that. Okay, so before I end the episode, I would like to try doing a bit with Botania, because I want to try making the runes and some new items. I probably won't have time to do as much as I want, because the blood magic stuff and showing the base and all that stuff took longer than I expected. But thankfully it makes 3 per each rune recipe, and hopefully I have all the stuff I need. If I head in here, I think I need to make a fishing rod. But I should have, up here, I have 1 bone meal spare. I have some sugar cane. I actually got milk off camera because I know one of the runes needed a cake. So, yeah, there's that. And I do need to get out a bunch of iron for that and some sticks. I think it's 3 for a fishing rod. So if I go like this, and that should be all I need to make runes of water. And I did actually need 3 runes of water. So let's just try this one at a time for the moment, just so I don't mess up the supply sort of thing. And I should have a fair amount of mana, just because this has been just working off camera. So let me just get this out to sea. And yeah, but I forget how I do the runic altar, which is kind of embarrassing. I remember Living Rock was a part of it. So let me just go back over here and read the entry real quick. Okay, so from what I read, I just throw or right-click the stuff in here. Oh, that's cool. I kind of thought it might do something like that, but I wasn't sure. So now it has all the stuff, and I need to link it with a mana spreader. And I kind of already... Oh, link it with a mana spreader and right-click, and it should be obvious it said when it has enough mana. So once that finishes doing its little circle thing, I toss a piece of Living Rock in there, and it should give me the runes of the water. So let's just look at the other runes real quick, though, because I needed more than just water. I needed actually 4 runes of earth. So I'm going to go grab stuff to make that real quick, and hopefully when I come back that's done, and not overdone, and nothing bad happens. So yeah. Okay, so apparently this is what it looks like when it's done. I saw some lightning stuff there, so if I just throw this here, I missed. Was it right click? I have no idea how that's supposed to work. It just said about Living Rock, right? I might have messed this up, but I got the stuff for runes of the earth, and if we go back here, it says rune you want to create, linking it. Just drop a piece of Living Rock and use your wand. Okay, so if I drop a piece of Living Rock and then I use my wand, ta-da, that's how I get runes. So, whew, that was a bit more complex than I thought it would be. But now if we do this again, I need to get some mana steel now. And hopefully I do have a good bit of mana. Yeah, this has a lot of... Oh, that actually used a good bit of mana. I think it's actually not receiving mana. That might be the problem, because I said to send to this. So I might not actually be getting more mana at the moment. So 1, 2, 3, stone, that, and right-click with this. And now it's going to start making runes of the earth. So yeah, I think I might just cut to when I have all the runes made. I'll just show you the other runes I want to make, because this is a bit of a slow process. And the other runes I want to make are, need to make at least 1 rune of the air, which needs... only makes in 3. I need, I think, yeah, 3 rune of fire, and there also, I do need a rune of mana. Where's that? Yeah, so that's how I make a rune of mana. A bit costly, but I need to make these runes, and I also need to make a rune of winter. Let's see if I can get that recipe. There it is. So that's the one that needs the cake, some snow and wool, and rune of water and earth. So when I have all that stuff, I'll come back and yeah, then I'll show you what I want to make with all these runes. Okay, so I'm down to the last rune I need to make, which is a rune of winter, which needs some other runes, some snow here, and it also needs the cake. I don't know why winter needs a cake, but yeah, this is the final rune I need to make, and I used up a lot of mana, but I also messed up apparently, because the rune of mana here, you only get one of them. And I thought it would be 3 like the others, and I actually need 3 of them. But I don't think I need 3 of them right now, so I think I'll work on that off camera, because this episode for my recording is already over an hour, so I'd like to just make these items and kind of move on, I guess you would say, because there are a couple items I want to make right now. I'll save the rest for another time, but the first one here, I think, that must be backwards. Okay, this is the Tectonic Girdle, which is a belt. And if I look in the book here, I think I still have it open, yes. It negates all knockback applied to me by outside attacks. And if I come over here now and just throw that there and right-click, ta-da, I got the Rune of the Winter, which also is only 1. So I guess the higher tier of runes only give 1, which is a bit disappointing, but it's still enough for what I need. And the other item I want to make, I think, is like this, and the Rune of the Winter, and a Rune of Water, and that. And this is a Snowflake Pendant. We commented on, or I commented on this a few episodes back. But what this does is it allows me to freeze water beneath me. So if I put this on, and I walk down here, and it melts behind me, so I can effectively run on water again like I used to do in Ascension, which is awesome because running on water is pretty fast. I guess it's not that useful because, well, I have jetpacks and the Phantom Bridge, but still, it's a pretty cool thing, and oh god. I found the downside, so I might actually want to take that off for the moment, but this negates knockback, so hopefully stuff like skeletons won't be as annoying now, so they don't knock me away from them. So yeah, but anyway, I think that's where I'm going to end this episode for now. I saw some other stuff I'd like to do with the runes, but I apparently need to work on, actually I need to change this back to accepting mana, because it's almost empty, so yeah. But anyway, I think this is where I'm going to end this episode. We did make some cool progress, or some good progress with the blood magic rituals and the blood shards, and we finally started doing Botania of Runes stuff, and there's a lot more I want to do next time. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and yeah, until next time, goodbye.